Hello everyone, and welcome to WEBN's special report on Super Bowl 57, Behind the Big Game. I'm Jillian Kay.
And I'm Cam Manning. It is the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs, and fans are ready for the big game. But as you'll see, the Super Bowl is more than what happens just on the field Sunday.
That's right, Cam. WEBN spent a week in Phoenix, watching not only the city prepare for the game, but the nation.
Super Bowl week is here, and several members of the host committee spoke about their plans for this week. The members of the committee hope that guests have a fun time while they're here in Phoenix, Arizona.
This is the beginning of Super Bowl week. Let's go.
Fans from all teams have gathered in Phoenix. The star attraction, the NFL experience. Visitors can check out the lockers of their favorite players and try out some physical challenges. In the opening weekend, this year's experience saw over 70,000 guests, which is the second highest debut. But the host committee isn't just focused on a temporary attraction.
Over the past year, we've already had so many wins. Driving professional development and contract opportunities for our local diverse businesses.
The committee's Business Connect program supports over 200 small businesses owned by people of color, women, and members of the LGBTQ+ community. They've also partnered with Goodyear for a community greening initiative that plants trees around the region. The committee also took time to acknowledge the indigenous people of Arizona.
On behalf of the National Football League, we'd like to respectfully acknowledge that the events hosted in honor of Super Bowl 57 right here in Arizona will take place on land and territories originally of the indigenous people.
Joining the committee was Governor Stephen Rowe Lewis of the Gila River Indian community. Lewis acknowledged the NFL's work in supporting the indigenous people and felt honored to be among one of the 4 host tribes of this year's Super Bowl. The crowds are expected to build in Phoenix as game day gets closer. For WEBN Sports, I'm Drake Skelly.
We are now just 5 days away from Super Bowl 57 between the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles, but the atmosphere here in Phoenix, Arizona has already been electric, including the grand opening for both teams on opening night here at the Footprint Center.
Fans were proudly wearing jerseys from around the league, but a lot of red poured in to see their Chiefs get introduced.
I mean, I would have never guessed that I'd be in the city of the Super Bowl, much less like my own team would be here. You know, at the beginning of the year, I was like, oh, this is great, the Super Bowl's coming here. It'd be awesome if the Chiefs made it, and they did.
Fans got a chance to even see the fun side of their football team, including some Nickelodeon slime.
All right, baby. Slime season!
Some members of the Chiefs even weighed in on what they thought about Rihanna performing at this year's halftime show.
Big fan of Rihanna performing at the halftime show this year?
Honestly, yeah. You know, I listen to a lot of music, so Rihanna, you know, is somebody that I definitely enjoy listening to.
A classic Rihanna song that you love?
I don't know, I really got a lot, but I do like, word.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Rihanna performing at the halftime show? You a big Rihanna person?
I like Rihanna.
Favorite song?
Man, she got a lot. I be listening to Umbrella. I like Work. You feel me? You can always boogie to Work, so I'll give it that. How about that?
While it was fun last night for both fans and players, the players are now looking ahead to next Sunday's gridiron matchup against each other for Super Bowl Sunday. For WEBN News, I'm Cam Manning.
That was great, Cam. The players were just as excited as those kids, and for some, it's their first trip to the Super Bowl. Here's Claire Overton with more.
Offensive tackle Jordan Mailata is not your typical football story. Matter of fact, he didn't even start playing football until about 5 years ago, and now he's playing in the Super Bowl. The one-time Australian rugby player was drafted by the Eagles in 2018. Mailata has excelled in learning the game of football, but he also brought another talent with him to the Eagles: singing.
I said, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Jordan Mailata, center Jason Kelsey, and offensive tackle Lane Johnson got together last year and released a Christmas album, bringing the team even closer. Whether in the locker room or the team hotel, long snapper Rick Lovato said you can always find Mailata singing. And if there is a piano, that is a plus.
You know he's going to be on it, playing some music, singing along.
Music takes collaboration, and that skill worked on the gridiron as well. Claire Overton, WEBN Boston.
Thanks, Claire. Sadly, not all fans could make it to the Footprint Center for opening night, but the patients at Phoenix Children's Hospital made the trip virtually. The stars of Super Bowl LVII's opening night were unanimous. No, it wasn't Patrick Mahomes, Donna Kelsey, or Jalen Hurts, although they were all there. Instead, the Phoenix Children's Hospital telepresence robots stole the show.
So the kids are in their hospital beds with a laptop. They can control the robots just with the arrow keys. They can look up, they can look down, they can drive wherever they want.
Child Life Manager at Phoenix Children's, Nicole Tangi, tells me this week's visitors are both local and out of state.
Kids from Phoenix Children's, children from Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and kids from Children's Mercy in Kansas City. So we invited our friends from those cities so they could cheer on their home teams here in Phoenix.
Minnesota Vikings tight end TJ Hawkinson even inviting them on stage.
They're moving around.
Everybody say hello.
Say hello, everyone. This is awesome.
Everybody give them a wave. Come on.
And this isn't the only event the kids will experience this week.
We are going to the Commissioner Press Conference, the Halftime Press Conference, very popular. We are going to be at the Super Bowl Experience, and then they actually get to go to the game on Sunday.
Phoenix Children's Hospital is the first in the world with this technology.
Our robots have just taken us to new heights. So we've taken kids out to the aquarium, just anywhere they can imagine going that they just don't get the opportunity. So it's a really special thing to be part of.
From opening night at the Footprint Center, Jillian Kay, WEBN Boston.
Thanks, Jill. After opening night, the focus turns to preparation for the big game. WEBN's Drake Skelly tells us about a tradition that will continue.
While we're all excited for the big game, the Super Bowl is nothing without its traditions. From the coin toss to the halftime show, it's these other events that make the Super Bowl the spectacle that it truly is. I'm here at Luke Air Force Base learning about another tradition, the flyover. Every Super Bowl, the different military branches trade off who will have the honor of performing the flyover. This year, it's the Navy's turn and will feature an all-female flight crew. Lieutenant Lindsay Evans is one of the 8 members of the crew.
So this year marks 50 years of women in naval aviation. There was 8 women that were selected in 1973 to be the first group that went through flight school.
Spectators will see 4 jets this year, 2 FA-18s, 1 Growler, and 1 F-35. The jets will take off from Luke Air Force Base and will take only 5 minutes to get to the stadium, and they'll be 750 feet above the fans in a diamond formation.
Honestly, just what looks cool.
To pull off the flyover successfully takes precision. All of the pilots have practiced the flight and have years of experience, but they'll only be a couple feet away from each other. That's where Lieutenant Catherine Martinez comes in.
Actually, what's kind of cool is I'll get to see all 3 of the other aircraft. So it is my pilot's job to fly the jet and fly in formation, and then it is my job to tell other jets to get into formation. So
the crew is ready to show off what their years of training have taught them and why they were chosen for this flyover that's 50 years in the making. For WEBN Sports, I'm Drake Skelly.
Of course, what would the Super Bowl be without the fans? They're loyal to their teams right until the very end. Kansas City Chiefs fans I spoke with this week are excited to be back at the big game.
You gotta fight for your right to party!
Chiefs fans, big and small, traveling to Arizona to watch their favorite team play in the biggest game of the season.
It's great to see how far we've come, and we still have a ways to go.
Growing up in Kansas City, Andy Barnett has been a Chiefs fan his whole life. Now dressing head to toe as St. Patrick, making sure to spread the good news by telling everyone he sees.
Chiefs be with you.
Even passing on his love for the game to his son Elijah.
They have been a pretty bad team, but they've been doing better now.
Like most in the Red Kingdom, the Barnetts praise one player in particular.
St. Patrick Mahomes. He took us to the promised land. We're going to do it again. He's just so phenomenal to watch. It's like watching Michael Jordan in the NBA. It's just the things he does, the moves that you just think are impossible, he somehow pulls them out of his hat and does some amazing things.
And they're not the only ones supporting Mahomes.
He's such a genuine, selfless player. He thinks of the team first before he thinks of his own accolades.
It has that it factor. You can't teach that stuff.
No matter the outcome of Sunday's game, fans like Michael Lee say it's just an honor to be in the same city where it's all happening.
I think this is one of the best Super Bowls that we're going to watch. only because of the respect between the two teams. You know, there's not like a lot of trash talking, no disrespect, none of that.
All the fans I talked to said they're hoping for another Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory. This would be their third in franchise history and their second under Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. From the fan experience in Phoenix, Arizona, Jillian Kay, WEBN Boston.
Not to be outdone, the Eagles fans were also loud and proud. WEBN's Claire Overton found the flock.
I'm inside the NFL experience, and we're going to head inside and find some Eagles fans and see what advice they have for their favorite players leading up to the big game on Sunday.
He's just been a force this year. He's a Philly boy, and I would say just do your thing, and we'll be good.
Just do what you do, Jordan.
I would tell him just keep his head up. A lot of people are doubting him.
He knows what the plan is. He knows what to do.
Give it your all, baby. Get it. Bring it home. Just play tough, and we'll win this.
Just be yourself. Play like you play with confidence.
Fly, Eagles, fly!
I love the Eagles so much.
E-A-G-L-E-S! Eagles!
Eagles fans are clearly excited for the possibility to win this, the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Reporting from the NFL experience, Claire Overton, WEBN Boston.
That certainly looks exciting. Coming up, find out what food will be served at the stadium.
And a look at some more of the key players on and off the field.
Welcome back to WEBN's Super Bowl Special.
It is more than a game, but a week-long celebration of football.
The Super Bowl is exciting for football fans, but for players, it can be tough to stay focused. WEBN's Claire Overton tells us about how some team members are helping the newcomers.
The Super Bowl is the biggest game of the NFL season, a game that everyone strives to be in. But once you make it and arrive on site, distractions are everywhere. From fans calling your name, to flash photography, to countless cameras and microphones in your face. Players have to try and stay focused for what might be the most important game of their lives. Eagles long snapper Rick Lovato is at his second Super Bowl.
Everything was, so overwhelming the first time I was here, but now it's, just an experience that I can enjoy and really soak in.
Remembering how he felt at his first Super Bowl Media Week, he made sure to talk with the first-timers.
Gone up to them and just tried to take them step by step what it is that we're doing each and every day, and to really just focus on what's most important, and that's winning the game on Sunday.
Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni said to reduce the distractions, the team is staying locked in and sticking to their routine.
We just need to go about our business like we have been for the past 20 weeks.
The Eagles will try to make every day as normal as possible while preparing for the big game. Reporting from Super Bowl Media Week, Claire Overton, WEBN Boston.
Kansas City is playing in their third Super Bowl in 4 years, thanks to an offense led by Patrick Mahomes. But there is more to an offense than the MVP.
Many people are focused on the quarterbacks for Sunday's matchup, but not many people realize the real battle is won in the trenches. The Eagles' defensive line led the league in sacks this season. The Chiefs' offensive line is well aware they will be battle-tested come Super Bowl Sunday.
Offensive defensive line play is huge for football games, and like you said, the Eagles have, they're the NFC champions. They have one of the best defenses that we've seen in a while, and it's always a team game. It always comes down to a team effort and the 11 guys on offense working together, being on the same page, communicating the whole time, and I think just taking a play at a time, not looking too far ahead, and playing for 60 minutes.
Coach Reid and offensive line coach Andy Heck also spoke about game planning and messaging for the big game on Sunday.
Yeah, I'd tell you that when you get in the playoffs, that combination right there, the O-lines versus the D-lines on both teams, ends up being kind of the thing that wins or loses games. So, and it's magnified every level that you go up, every step of that you move up in the playoffs. And so the Super Bowl, it'll be magnified at the most.
Well, it would be a consistent message every week in that the game is won in the trenches. And so, this is a game where we're oftentimes going to be in one-on-one situations. We've got to win our one-on-ones. It's going to be a great challenge.
With Patrick Mahomes battling a high ankle sprain, it is quintessential that the Chiefs keep him clean in the pocket. but that's no easy task against this Eagles defensive front. For WEBN News, I'm Cam Manning.
Fans who make it to State Farm Stadium for the game will have some delicious food choices. Here's a look.
Over 60,000 spectators flocked to the State Farm Stadium for Super Bowl LVII, and WBN got a first look at the food that was being offered on game day. Otis Hummer, the corporate executive chef for Craft Culinary Concepts, told us that the team has been working on the menu for at least a year.
We definitely wanted to showcase some innovation and our culinary expertise and enhance the menu items for the Super Bowl to make it a memorable experience. So the first item right here is our loaded dirty fry. It has a chorizo white queso, a chipotle aioli, carnitas, and a pico de gallo. So a little taste of Arizona, but in a French fry. This is our Korean fried chicken sandwich. It has a lot of flavor going on. It has a gochujang sauce with a kimchi slaw on a brioche bun. Super flavorful fried chicken. My favorite one, by the way. And then lastly is our kielbasa. What is, football without, sausage and kielbasa? So we have a locally sourced kielbasa on a pretzel roll, a brown mustard, fennel, apple, sauerkraut, a lot of flavor, cooked fresh to order. Come try it.
From the Super Bowl 57, this is Christine Park for WBN Boston.
But for those watching the game at home, it will be the Fox crew on your screens. The team had some advice for future sports broadcasters. We are here at the Media Center for Day 2 of Super Bowl Media Week, where the Fox Sports broadcasting team took center stage here at Phoenix, Arizona, and some familiar faces were here at the event, including sideline reporter Erin Andrews. Andrews will be on the sidelines for her 4th Super Bowl. She's the first woman to be honored singularly with the Pat Summerall Award. I asked Andrews what her excitement level was for her 4th Super Bowl.
Well, so for Tuesday going into Sunday, I got to keep it kind of chill because you don't want to peak too high, right? So I would say maybe I'm at a 5 right now, but I just came back from sitting down with Patrick Mahomes, so I was really excited for that. But yeah, we'll come down a little bit, for Wednesday, Thursday. Still got to get some prep in when we get back to the hotel, but I'm very excited for the game.
But the day was about more than just the game. The Fox crew even had plenty of advice for future sports journalists entering the field. What advice would you give to young professionals in the business trying to make it into the sports industry?
I think work your tail off. I cleaned it up, didn't I?
I would say the biggest thing is just really being open to learning from the people that are around you. I've been really fortunate to have a crew, both our crew here with Aaron, Tom, and Kevin, and then also with our producer and director who have a ton of experience calling some of the biggest games in NFL history. Rely on them, ask them questions, pick their brains. Don't think you have all the answers because there's so much information out there that you can learn from other people. We are not only getting to see all-pro players on Sunday, but all-pro broadcasters in the broadcasting booth for the Fox Network as they carry their 10th Super Bowl in the network's history. For WEBN News, I'm Cam Manning.
Thanks, Cam. Coming up, what to expect for the start of the game. And we're not talking about the players.
And all eyes are on the halftime show when Rihanna makes her grand appearance.
Thanks for joining WEBN Super Bowl 57 special, Behind the Big Game.
Of course, for the players, it is just a game. Many are focused on the quarterbacks for Sunday's matchup, but not many people realize the true battle is won in the trenches. We are here at the Hyatt Regency Hotel here in Scottsdale, Arizona, where the storylines are continuing to pile up, but none are more impressive than Chiefs rookie running back Isaiah Pacheco. Pacheco went in the 7th round to the Kansas City Chiefs and has shattered expectations this season, and his pursuit of greatness derives from family tragedy. Pacheco's youth was forever scarred by the loss of both his brother and sister to murder when he was in high school. Pacheco credits his coaches and teammates for his strength and resiliency.
Through the adversity I've been through, there's highs and lows, but it's how you handle it. I overcome so much, but I didn't allow it to affect me and to put so much pressure on me. That's when I was able to talk to the adults around my community, my coaches, and not only that, my teammates. We had a team event where we were able to share our stories to one another, and that allowed us to open up and build.
Some storylines are obviously bigger than the game, but we can all bet that Pacheco will be running as hard as ever come Super Bowl Sunday. In Scottsdale, Cam Manning, WEBN News.
History will be made over the stadium as well. WEBN's Claire Overton introduces us to the women heroes.
In many ways, this Super Bowl is making history. It's the first time two brothers are playing against each other, the first time two black quarterbacks are starting, but one piece of history that's also a first that not many people are talking about is the flyover. It's the first all-female Navy crew to perform the flyover at the Super Bowl.
The 8-member crew is flying in a diamond formation. There will be 2 FA-18s, an F-35, and an EA-18G Growler. Lieutenant Lindsay Evans is a naval flight officer in the EA-18 Growler.
Responsible for electronic attack would be kind of the big familiar part of it. So essentially just disrupting, suppressing enemy air defenses with essentially the radiation that we put out from our aircraft.
Many of the women involved in the flyover actually knew each other beforehand.
Some of them came with me down from Whitby, and then the other ones that are from Lemoore, I went through flight school with a couple of them.
Every year, the flyover crew rotates between the 5 branches of the military, but 2023 is a special year for the Navy.
So this year marks 50 years of women in naval aviation. There was 8 women that were selected in 1973 to be the first group that went through flight school.
Evans and the other 7 female naval officers represent the legacy of women in naval aviation. After the flyover, the crew will land and have a police escort ready to take them to the game. Reporting from Luke Air Force Base, Claire Overton, WEBN Boston.
On the field, an exciting tradition will be returning to the pregame show for the 2nd year in a row. Take a look.
Just got a call. They would like you to sing at the Super Bowl. I said, what? Yes!
Abbott Elementary's Cheryl Lee Ralph will perform Lift Every Voice and Sing.
I am very pleased and very happy to be able to be on the 40-yard line.
Babyface will sing America the Beautiful.
I didn't see it coming. I didn't know it was coming. But God brings things to you that, you don't look for it. He just gives it to you.
And country music star Chris Stapleton will sing the national anthem.
It can go horribly wrong, as we've seen many times in the past. Hopefully it won't happen for me.
All of this happening before kickoff at Super Bowl LVII. But something special will return this year. 3 American Sign Language performers will join the pregame artists. They include Coda's Troy Kotzer, Colin Denny from Arizona and the Navajo Nation, and viral TikToker Justina Miles.
We march on.
Miles is making history as the first deaf woman ASL interpreter. She says this representation is crucial.
The national anthem never really resonated with me personally, and the Black national anthem is really inspiring. So it's not only for me to share this experience with the whole world, but to really bring that empowerment to millions and millions of Black deaf people all over the country who've never really seen that before.
Denny agrees, as he will be performing Native American Sign Language.
Language and culture and everything to me is beautiful because community is there, and the indigenous community is there.
Kotzer says he's done his research on the national anthem, and he's ready to share.
I'm going to show you all what I'm seeing and what he wrote, which was pure poetry, and I'm going to add in my personality as an artist and put it all out there.
The pregame show will start at 4 p.m. with the game following shortly after at 4:30. From Phoenix, Arizona, Jillian Kay, WEBN Boston.
Of course, there's a lot of excitement about the Apple halftime show featuring superstar Rihanna. WEBN's Christine Park has some more details about the show.
The Super Bowl LVII halftime show is Rihanna's first time performing in nearly 7 years. During the Apple Music halftime show press conference, the singer described the challenge of narrowing down her extensive music catalog for the performance.
You only have 13 minutes, that's the challenge, so you're trying to cram 17 years of work into 13 minutes, so it's difficult, but I think we did a pretty good job at narrowing it down.
During her break from music, the singer created a makeup line Fenty Beauty, as well as a clothing and lingerie line Savage x Fenty. Rihanna is also the first halftime performer to have their own booth at the NFL store, which showcased merchandise from Rihanna's makeup and clothing brands.
At the end of the day, if it flops or it flies, my name has to stand by that. And so I really get involved with every aspect of anything that I do.
And as for whether or not fans can anticipate a new album coming anytime soon, Rihanna didn't give any details on new releases, but she did mention that she is open to creating new projects.
I just want to play. I want to have fun. I want to have fun with music.
From the halftime press conference, I'm Christine Park for WEBN Boston.
Thank you, Christine. Coming up, recognizing the best in the NFL.
And how a tragedy on the field is saving lives off the field.
Welcome back to this WEBN special report, Super Bowl 57, Behind the Big Game.
Every year, the NFL takes some time to recognize the best in the league. The event is called the NFL Honors and features a red carpet for players and celebrities before the awards. The event also took time to honor the first responders who jumped into action, saving Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin, who suffered a cardiac arrest on the field and was revived. The first responders joined him on stage.
And a special thank you to everyone on this stage for everything they did for me. And thank you everyone around the country and around the world who prayed for me and hoped for me. The journey will continue.
Wow, the crowd was on their feet for that one. But Damar's mission continues. The NFL set up a CPR training area for fans over the weekend, and I had the chance to try it out.
Staying alive, staying alive, there you go, number 5, you're in the lead.
Karen Springs is a CPR instructor for the American Heart Association. The nonprofit has their own booth at the NFL Fan Experience, teaching people to save lives.
A lot of times folks are scared if they see an emergency unraveling, like what do? I don't know how to do it. And so this gives them a chance to practice in real life. What does it feel like to put your hands on the chest and what compressions really are?
Springs says there are 2 steps to performing hands-only CPR. 1, call 911. 2, push hard and fast in the center of the chest.
So when you're doing that, you want to push in about 2 inches and you want to do it at a beat of 100 to 120 beats per minute. Now, since folks aren't metronomes, we like to help them to have a song. One of those happens to be Staying Alive.
But you might be wondering, why is this at the NFL Fan Experience? It all comes down to one player, Damar Hamlin.
We are so thrilled that he has had such a miraculous recovery, in part due to having that immediate, high-quality CPR.
Since surviving cardiac arrest, Hamlin now encourages others to learn the first aid technique that saved his life. His challenge for folks comes in 3 parts, which, coincidentally, matches his jersey number.
Learn CPR at heart.org/3, give to the American Heart Association, and challenge 3 friends to do the same.
Karen was kind enough to teach me the technique, so let's see what I got. Karen also says it's important to keep your arms locked and hands on the person's chest until help arrives. From the American Heart Association booth at the NFL Fan Experience, Jillian Kay, WEBN Boston.
Another special moment came when Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott was named the Walter Payton Man of the Year. He was recognized for giving back to the community. The next day, he and the other nominees headed to the Boys and Girls Club in Phoenix.
After Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott won the award during the NFL Honors, Prescott and the other nominees gave back to the Arizona community and visited the Boys and Girls Club. They participated in various events such as tree planting, cleat painting, and mentorship. Detroit Lions quarterback Jared Goff was one of the many Walter Payton Man of the Year nominees at the event.
Yeah, I think we're role models and we're guys that they can look up to, and we all have our own stories, and it's not too dissimilar from some of these guys as some of our stories, so they can see us in themselves in some ways, and hopefully we can bring a little bit of joy and happiness to some of their lives.
It was a day full of joy, not only for the kids, but for the players. The players even brought a special surprise for some of the members of the Boys and Girls Club.
Make sure that you continue to do that within this community, and so we thank you. With that being said, we want to congratulate you for all the hard work, and more importantly say, enjoy the Super Bowl on behalf of the NFL.
These men nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award are more than just star players on the field, but they are also role models for their respective communities. For WEBN News, I'm Cam Manning.
The award was named after Walter Payton. The Chicago Bears running back is considered one of the greatest players of all time. Sadly, he died in 1999, but his daughter, Brittany, thinks he would be impressed by the work young players are doing in their communities.
Brittany Payton, daughter of Walter Payton, loves to see how her father's legacy is carried on both on and off the field.
Because this is really what it's all about, and this is why we're honoring them really truly for their character and the work they do, making a difference in the lives of others.
Payton said some of her greatest memories with her father were working with his foundation.
But it was one of my father's greatest joys, his foundation that he started, so it's an honor for us to be able to continue that on. I know he'd be proud.
This year, Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott was chosen as the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Reporting from the Boys and Girls Club, Claire Overton, WEBN Boston.
Well, Jillian, it certainly was a busy week in Phoenix.
It really was, Cam, but we did manage to squeeze in a little fun.
And competitiveness. Here's a look.
Cam, well, I guess we better leave the football playing to the pros.
Yeah, that's right, Jill. Thanks so much for joining our Super Bowl special at WEBN Behind the Big Game. I'm Cam Manning.
And I'm Jillian Kay. For more coverage, check out our YouTube channel at WEBN Boston, read articles on our website at WEBN.TV, and follow us on social media.
Have a great day, everyone.